What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a lot of car stuff. In a few days, actually tomorrow, I'm supposed to be going to Georgia. I have a whole bunch of stuff to do beforehand, but the main thing is I'm trying to get my AC condenser working on the car. Now, I said I really wasn't going to do a lot of car stuff, but this is related to what I'm doing because the trip is film related and I need the car to go on the trip, so this counts. But it's gonna be a lot of car stuff today. So pretty much this is how I left my car. Now, this past weekend I just came back from H Day. I'm actually wearing a H Day shirt because it was the first thing in my drawer, and it's an extra one because I've done so many that I've got like 7 of these things. But anyways, this is how I left the car, and it's been a little bit of a headache. I have clips that I'm gonna throw in of previous stuff that I've been working on, but essentially because it's a right-hand drive Miata, the AC from the USDM spec doesn't fit. So I tried ordering an AC and it didn't work. I ordered it from AutoZone. I didn't even realize that it didn't bolt up. My first main issue was that the AC lines didn't hook up directly to the USDM AC because the ports are different. So if you look, this is a USDM spec. This is the Eunos AC compressor, and this is the USDM spec compressor. So the Eunos compressor has 2 inputs on the side, and the AC compressor from the USDM has 1 on the side, and then it's got 1 on the top. I have one that's installed because I was like, you know what, maybe I can just find 2 AC lines coming out of a USDM condenser and they can hook up to my Eunos condenser. But that didn't work either because apparently the fittings don't match up. Now, I don't even know what I did with these condensers. I'll have them over here. But these fittings from the USDM condenser don't match what I need to go to my Eunos. Yeah, pretty much the Eunos and the Miata, they use different spec. I guess it's just because it came from Japan and they use different thread pitches, or I don't know what the case is. But another issue that I ran into was this bracket right here is the one that I pulled off the car. Now this bracket is for the Eunos and the Eunos compressor. And I also found out recently that the USDM compressor doesn't fit. So originally I just bought a condenser off somebody, but I found somebody else that actually also had like a full-on AC system, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'll buy everything. I think I paid 50 bucks for everything, and he included the bracket, and luckily the bracket bolted up right to the block, and then he gave me a condenser, he gave me lines, he gave me pretty much everything. So I've pretty much been trying to backstep from the compressor. I'm like, all right, cool, if I get the compressor on, how can I make it work with my Japanese system? And this is pretty much where I'm at. So originally the hoses didn't work, but I have the hoses in the car. So both of those hoses are JDM spec, and no, both of those hoses are US spec. Sorry, it's really early. I got back at like 2 o'clock this morning or something from H Day, and by the time I showered and everything, it was like 3 something. So bear with me, I'm working on it. But anyways, these are the USDM spec hoses that are hooked up to the USDM spec compressor that's hooked up to the USDM bracket. And what I'm gonna try and do, I'm gonna do this before I go, is I'm gonna see if the USDM condenser bolts right up to the same holes as the JDM one, and then if they bolt up, essentially at the bottom of the condenser on the USDM one, I'm gonna try and snip my line. Hello, señor gato. Freaking cat. Anyways, I'm gonna try and snip the bottom of the USDM condenser to work with a fitting that will match the Eunos fitting that goes into the car. This has all been a pain in the ass. I was sick with COVID 2 weeks ago, and I was looking for things to do, and I was like, you know what? Let me try and fix my AC system because it would be really clutch if I was actually able to have AC on this trip. There's also a few other things I needed to do to the car, and you know, the first day I was dead, but after a while throughout my quarantine, maybe like the 3rd or 4th day, I was actually able to do things, not as much as I was able to because I was having some breathing issues, but I did a lot to the car. I actually resprayed the bumper. In the last video I posted about the car, I said somebody backed into me at a light and they left a chip in the bumper. And I already resprayed it, I repainted it. I attempted to film it, but that didn't go very well. And then I also tinted one of the windows just because I had the other side tinted and I wanted this side to match. It's 20% window tint. So, you know, I mean, it's cheap tint. I got the $12 tint from AutoZone, but guess what? It works. Window looks good. Oh, I also ordered a front lip for the bumper, and I rattle can painted it. Now, I could have actually painted it because I did really nice paint on the bumper. This is the bumper. It's very shiny. It needs a little bit of wet sanding. It's not perfect, but you know, I got some drips here and there. I was in a rush and I had fucking COVID. What do you want from me? I did some stuff to the car because I had the time to do stuff to the car, and I really wasn't allowed to do anything because I was in quarantine. But my quarantine's over. I went to H Day, that was successful, and now I'm just trying to get the condenser working. So what we're doing today is I actually found somebody that can make custom hoses. I called a whole bunch of shops and somebody redirected me to somebody else, and it's been a whole process. Like I even called the company that makes the compressor that was in the car, and they were like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. Like, that was an obsolete part for a Japanese market. Like, you're asked out. I even went to Mazda to try and find matching hoses. They told me the same thing about the hoses. After calling a million people, I found somebody that said he would be able to help me, but he hasn't answered my text. Then I messaged my friend Scott from Koenig that I used to work with, and he was telling me that there's a place out in Long Island that would be able to make the hoses that I need. And I called them, they're like, yeah, as long as you show us what you need, we can make it for you. And that's my alarm. I called him this morning. It's currently 9 o'clock in the morning. I called him maybe like half an hour ago. He was like, yeah, if you come by, we can make it for you. So I'm gonna head over there. I'm gonna see if they can make the hose for me, and fingers crossed they can make it. I can put the damn thing in the car. I can put the car together, because since I have no bumper on it, I actually can't even drive it anywhere, and my AC lines are just hanging on the floor. But hopefully I can get the car back together, and then I can just go to the shop, check for leaks, and recharge the AC, and fingers crossed I'll be good to go. I don't think it requires any custom wiring or anything like that. It looks like the USDM spec AC condenser works. Alright, so my initial plan was to try and see if I can get this line hooked up, but I was having issues taking this out, so I actually don't even want to take that out, but I'm probably gonna have to. The goal was just to kind of see where it would sit when I pulled the other one. I'm wondering if they can give me some kind of flex hose or something, so even if it's not exactly the right size, at least it'll be able to flex a little bit. But we'll see what happens. I'll probably end up having cut it here, but I think the lines might be different sizes coming from one dryer to the other. They don't even fucking go in the same, which is like, you know, I guess I'll just go fuck myself, but whatever. See how that works. Alright, so I just left the shop that made the line for me. So pretty much here's what they did. This is the line that goes directly into the Miata. I hope I'm not in this guy's way. This is the line that goes directly into the Miata. This is the Japanese version. And this is my USDM AC condenser. You're cutting my head off. Thanks. This is my USDM AC condenser. Essentially, he cut one end off on this to connect to the other part. So instead of having him cut the original line, because this is a very, very rare part that I don't know where the fuck I'll be able to find it from. Instead of cutting the line, that connection is still on there in case I ever need the extra room. He cut the Eunos AC condenser. So essentially, now this should bolt directly up to this in some weird angled fashion. Hold on, like that, and hopefully it'll work on the car. All right, so I'm back home now. Got my two condensers, so now I'm gonna try and hook this up to the car. I don't think I'm gonna tighten everything. I think I'll wait for the shop to do that, but at least if I can hook everything up and everything works, then I'll be content, and we can do a leak test. I can put my front bumper back on, and hopefully everything will be good. Bless you. It's good to know that some parts are compatible from USDM to JDM. And it might be as simple as something just bolting up and not as intricate as my AC lines working. But I'll take whatever little victories I can get. All right, so I just got the AC line hooked up to the car. I got it hooked up back to the car. I kind of just need to finish tightening this one bolt. That line is hooked up. Now for the ultimate fucking test is going to be seeing if it connects. And I can see it from here, and it's already like, it's practically there. You might want to put your laptop down for a second because we're about to get low. Oh, the knee's cracked. I don't know if you guys heard that, but my knee's cracked. All right. So right here, right here, that's where I'm trying to make this connect. Looks like it's working. We have an AC line. I'm gonna have them leak test this because I don't 100% trust it, but we have an AC line. The last thing I need to do is hook up the lines from the compressor to the condenser, and then that is literally it. Once I do that, I'm going to start the car and I'm going to see if the compressor kicks in with just pressing the button. Yeah, once I have these lines hooked up from the compressor, that's pretty much it. Everything's installed. Oh, and I have to throw the belt back in, but that's really not that big a deal. All right, so I think I have the full AC system hooked up right now. I didn't bother connecting the lines fully tight. They're in there, but they're just kind of loose. I want to see if I can start the car and if the compressor will kick in. I don't know if it will because there's no Freon in the system, and I know with my CRV, like the fans wouldn't even go on. But I want to turn the car on. I want to see if the compressor will kick on. And yeah, everything bolted up, everything fits. I had to adjust the line just a little bit just so that way it would connect, but I'm really happy with that. So for now, I'm just going to turn the car on and hopefully the compressor will kick on. All right, my fans kick on. That's a good sign. I'm gonna need to borrow my girlfriend for this. Hey girlfriend.
Yeah?
Can you sit in the car for me? Spinning, but not spinning. I don't think you can see in there. Can't really zoom. Alright, I want you to turn the fan on and turn the AC on. Push the button to turn the AC on. The compressor works! Oh my god, that's so fucking... I'm so excited for that. The compressor kicks on. Now I just need to do a leak test and this is so great, man. I'm so excited. All right, I'm gonna put the car back together and we're gonna go to the shop. All of this mess and all of this headache and all of these gloves that I've wasted and all of the butt squeezes
Sorry.
just to get this hooked up and working. The shop I wanted to go to was closed and my friend is busy, so I'm just gonna go to this random gas station. Not random, I live close by to it, but I'm just gonna go to this gas station one and see if they can recharge it, put the dye in it. He said it would be $125, which is like, at this point, I'm kind of desperate, so I figured, fuck it, throw it in the system. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. Hopefully somebody I know will be available tomorrow. So I'm actually at another shop right now. He's gonna put Freon in the system and run some soapy water to see if it's leaking on any of the fittings that I just hooked up. So fingers crossed. That's the shop, the car. Sorry, I'm taking a video. Yeah, the air is on. Yeah, I'm supposed to.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah. Oh, it's supposed to be on cold. spot didn't work. My line is leaking and my compressor doesn't want to turn on now, but it was literally just turning on. So I'm gonna swing by my friend's shop. He said he might be able to help me out. Hopefully they have everything I need. Apparently they're an actual shop. So I hope they have electrical tape. I hope they have a fuse tester, and I hope they can help fix my leaking line and recharge and pull the system. Third shop that I come to. I already know that it's leaking. I think the reason the compressor won't kick on is because there's no pressure in the system. So because there's no pressure, the compressor doesn't want to turn on. Fingers crossed that's what the issue is. I checked the fuses, I replaced one of them. I'm hoping that it works, but I guess we're here to find out. One of the lines, they're actually gonna have to fix it for me because I didn't have a chance to tighten it up, but let's see. 6'3", auto body, auto spa, auto body, auto spa.
Clutch down?
Sometimes, not always.
Well, hold on. Yeah, clutch is down.
So here's the current deal with the car. The compressor is not working. I returned the AC compressor I picked up from AutoZone because I figured this guy gave me one and he said it was working, but it actually isn't working. It's having some kind of issues. I don't know what the issues is with it. So I don't know what to do. I have another compressor, but I don't know if it's gonna wire up. And I don't really have time because I'm leaving tomorrow and I have a whole bunch of editing to do and file organization. I have to go pick up drives and stuff like that. So fingers crossed, I'll just bring him the compressor tomorrow and he'll install it. And if it works, then I should be good. But if it doesn't work, then I'm just gonna leave whatever's in the car and just cut my losses and drive it how it is. It's gonna be a pain in the ass because like I have to put the front bumper on still, and I still have to wet sand and buff and put my front lip on and all that stuff. So like I gotta get this done early. But you know, we'll see where the day takes us, you know. Part of a good story is the climax. You know, whether or not this is gonna work or not work, we will find out early tomorrow morning. So I'm not bugging, all right? It's the next day, and on cold start, started the car right up. As soon as I hit that AC switch with the sensor unplugged, it kicked on. The compressor kicked on, and I know it kicked on because the idle started to drop. Now, what the idle has to do with that, essentially, because the compressor kicks in, there's more strain on the engine and on the belts, so your idle goes up. This compressor's working, and not for nothing, the other compressor that I have does not look like it's up to par. It doesn't look good, and I would rather not put it in the car. So what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna go back to the shop. I'm gonna try and have them put Freon in it. And fingers crossed this stupid thing works. And if it doesn't, I'm not taking out this AC compressor. I'm just going to go without AC, because at this point it's just like too much time and effort has been taken away from other things I have to do. So I'm gonna try and go make this thing work. I'm gonna go try and recharge it. If it doesn't recharge, I'll call it a day, and you know, I'll just drive with no air conditioning. All right, shop is closed, but I'm going to test out the AC compressor, and you guys will be my witness. Hey, there they are. Nice. Morning, brother. That's okay, no worries, no worries. I'm running late too. This is my girlfriend. Now now it's not working. Of course. Up. It was just working, now it's not working. Compressor, it's on now. Gonna try and vacuum it. Vacuum machine. AC is running right now. Trying to run Freon through the system. Let's see if it'll suck anything into the compressor. Alright, so I'm driving the car now. I just left from the shop. I closed the top, I closed the windows. I was curious to see if the slight bit of Freon will work. So let me actually backtrack a little bit. So we tried putting Freon in the system. The compressor would kick on and turn off, kick on, turn off, kick on, turn off. So it took a little bit of Freon, and what I asked him to do, which was something that Scott actually had recommended to me, was I don't know. Sorry, I'm driving right now. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. But anyways, what I had him do, which was a recommendation from Scott, was I asked him to vacuum it out completely and try and see if it holds pressure, and if it holds pressure, put Freon in the system like that, since the compressor wasn't turning on. And now that it's got a little bit of Freon in it, it turns on and off, on and off, on and off. And there's supposed to be a pressure switch where the compressor doesn't work if there's no pressure. The problem with that, come on, man. The problem with that is there's no pressure in the system, so the compressor's not turning on to suck the Freon in. So that's why we tried that method. And it's being a huge headache. It's not working. And I was curious because the compressor kicks on and off, on and off, on and off. I have the cold air on right now, and I have, like, the AC button is pushed. I can feel that it's a little cold, but it also just kind of feels like it turned off just now because it's feeling warmer. So I don't know, part of me wants to believe that the compressor is good, it just needs more, but the other part of me is just like, damn, maybe I just need a new compressor. Either way, there's literally nothing I can do about it, at least until I get somewhere. Because today I'm gonna be going to Georgia. Hopefully, I have so much to do today, but I'm hopefully gonna be on the road on the way to Georgia. But we'll see how that ends up turning out. Yeah, guys, that's gonna have to conclude today's video. You know, the car isn't working like it's supposed to. Well, the compressor isn't working like it's supposed to, but I went through so much to try and get it to that point, but it didn't make it. So maybe I'll be able to try and finagle something and find a way to make this work. But until then, that is going to be it for today's video. Guys, if you like this video, please, it means a lot to me, hit the like button, subscribe down below, share it with your friends. If anybody has a Eunos Roadster and they have any questions about what I did to try and make the USDM parts work on the JDM parts, DM me, let me know, leave it in the comments below, because I had a huge pain in the ass doing this, but I somewhat managed to figure it out. So let me know. I'm here to help. I'm happy to help because I know how stressful this can be. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.